wa salatu wa salam wa rasulullah wa ba'd. In the name of Allah, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon his last and final messenger. As to what follows, family, friends, foes, haters, and hatettes, welcome back to another matinee with the features. I greet you all in peace and love and no hatred in my heart. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And before we begin, please like, please subscribe, and please share. And please hit me up on Patreon. As you know, we got a hell of a lot of haters up in here. And that is really real. But anyways, today we got another massive treat from, of course, Shaykh Uthman Farouk. The Shaykh, he sent me this video like 2 days, yesterday or the day before. I can't remember. Anyways, and I was like, again, like the Shaykh, you know, he is doing what grassroots dawah is all about, because a lot of the brothers and the sisters, they're confused about what I mean by grassroots dawah. What Shaykh Uthman Farouk does, that is grassroots dawah. You understand? We don't do dawah on this channel like that. I did one dawah video that was a couple of weeks ago, right? Like 2 weeks ago, right? And grassroots dawah is actually going out and talking to the people and explaining to them about Islam and Allah and like this, and trying to call them to the truth, trying to call them to the haqq, trying to call them to Islam. You understand? That's grassroots dawah. You get me? All the YouTubian flim-flam and back and forth and trying to stimulate algorithms and whatnot, that's not dawah. That's chaos. And the Shaykh, you know, he has a reputation for just sticking with dawah. He don't even know who the YouTube personalities are, and that's real. Like, he just kind of go on the street and he asks his brothers, you know, he teach people Islam. He gets the brothers that convert to make dawah, which is another important tool for dawah, that the people that convert go out and call the people to Allah, you know, and he gives them feedback on their mistakes and whatnot. And so they show up their mistakes and become stronger da'is and whatnot. That's what dawah is, okay? That's what dawah is. If you look at Christians, their form of dawah is what we call missions, okay? What we call dawah, they call missions. You get me? And missions are essentially, there's an African saying, okay? Let me explain to you how missions work in a manner that y'all can understand. Because there's an African saying, okay? And it's not clear who actually said it. It could have been one of several people. But anyways, they said, when Europeans came to Africa, they came with their Bibles. They came to our land with their Bibles. They came to our land with their Bibles. And they told us to close our eyes and pray. So we closed our eyes and we prayed. And when we opened our eyes, we had the Bibles and they had the land. That's missions. You get me? That's what Christian missions are. They go to the poorest, darkest nations in the world in order to convert the darker peoples to Christianity, so that they can have Europeans go in and usurp their resources. This is a 500-year-old tactic. And now what is happening is that the world is learning about Islam, because we have people on the front lines making dawah. And, you know, Shaykh bin Baz, rahimahullah, when he was alive, he supported the dawah tremendously. We owe Shaykh bin Baz, rahimahullah, a great debt. We owe Shaykh bin Baz, rahimahullah, our dua and all this kind of stuff. Because of him and his efforts, dawah was able to spread throughout all the Muslim lands. Y'all hearing me? But anyways, Shaykh Uthman Farouk was visited by a pastor or a preacher, old dude, okay? And I want y'all to watch this conversation, right, as it unfolds, and we will give our commentary as usual, okay? Like, subscribe, share, hit me up on Patreon, y'all. Let's get down to it. let's get down to nitty gritty. Thank you for joining me on this matinee. Just give me a few moments here so I can pull this up.
Doesn't go to the bathroom, he doesn't sleep, he doesn't forget that one God is the creator of the whole universe. That one God sent prophets, and Jesus, Muhammad, Moses, Abraham, Noah, Adam, all of them were prophets of God, right? But the one God I believe in knows everything. Nothing is new to him. His knowledge encompasses everything. And he is all powerful. And he is above being like us. I believe the God in the Quran says, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. There is nothing in comparison to him. You cannot even make a parable about him, right? What do I know about my God is what he told me in the Quran. He tells me he is one, right? He's not born out of anybody. He is Samad. He's not in need of anybody. Everybody's in need of that one God. He doesn't need any of us, right? He is merciful and forgiving, right?
He is merciful.
He is merciful and forgiving, the most merciful.
But why is your religion so
beautiful?
Bent? No, opposite of beautiful.
Why?
Bent on killing and murder and
right.
all of that of people that don't believe, that they call them.
So let me.
You see how presumptuous this man is? I'm sorry to say it like that, but y'all gotta understand, okay? I know these people so well, okay? I know them so well. Y'all hearing me? I grew up, I went to Catholic school. I met these types hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. I used to believe the things that these types used to tell me. Y'all hearing me? I used to call these types, when I went to church, Father, and actually believed they were my spiritual. I believed that. You understand? I believed that they were my connection between myself and God. You get me? You're talking about somebody who comes from the line of the most murderous people on earth in history. And he is so presumptuous, right? But anyway, that's from their tactics, because you got to understand when Orientalists were designing their battle kits, so to speak, on how to convert Muslims to Christianity, this was one of the things that they used to say. And they're just repeating it up until this day, that Muslims are violent. You get me? With no type of self-reflection. You get me? So this is an old tactic. But anyway, let's watch what the Shaykh got to say.
Ask you something. When you say that, and I'm not going to take that as racist, I'm just going to walk it through, right? Who started world wars?
People.
What religion? Hitler was what religion? Was he a Muslim?
Who?
Hitler.
Hitler was,
did he believe in Christ?
He may have. But there are people that believe in Christ that are not Christ believers.
I'm going to bring that back so y'all can see that this is something that we know, okay? Watch this. Hitler, not only was he a Christian, but he was somebody who believed in Christianity. You understand? We do not tolerate no one in our ranks who attacks the ideas of Christianity. Our movement is Christian. Y'all hearing me? What is that? What is this on his chest right there? What is that? What is that? Y'all hearing me? And the Shaykh, of course, mashallah, the way that he dealt with him, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? The Shaykh, the Shaykh, without even saying, he knows that this man is capping. Even by the way he's speaking, he knows that the man is capping. He knows that he's straight lying, but he's being, a gentleman about it. Right? the Shaykh is just being a gentleman about it. He's like, well, what about Hitler? Huh? You know what I'm saying? But you know when the Sheikh's head is like, man, you are lying. You know that's what he's thinking. Because the Shaykh went right for the jugular right away. What about Hitler? You see what I'm saying? Anyways, let's continue.
But there are people that believe in Christ that are not Christ believers.
Okay.
They're not
So
Christians.
the
They're
world,
far
so
from
the world wars were both originated in Europe between Christian people. Whether you were good Christians or not, we're not judging them right now, right? If you look at the Spanish Inquisition, where they massacred, genocided anybody that wasn't their form of Christianity, was that Muslims?
Oh, those were
Those were
Christians that were doing bad things.
Christians doing bad things. So
You see, not only were they Christians doing that, okay, the Spanish Inquisition is pretty much what spearheaded all the wicked white supremacy that we see today. Y'all hearing me? The Spanish Inquisition was what started this pure blood laws, that whole pure blood theory, where you must prove by your lineage that both grandparents from your mother's side and your father's side were of the pure white race. That's how it started. And they started kicking out Muslims. Well, how did they know who the Muslims were? Because they were black. Okay, they were Moors. Y'all hearing me? And the Jews were able to hide as Christians because the Jews were white people. And not only that, well, anyways, I'm gonna let the Shaykh speak because I can do this all day. But let's hear what the Shaykh got to say, man. Let's do this.
when there are Muslims doing bad things, why do you blame Islam? But when Christians do bad things, you don't blame Christianity.
I don't blame Christianity because they were not following Christianity.
Excellent. So do you believe as Muslims, when we ruled Spain, when we ruled Palestine under Salahuddin Ayyubi, did we do those things? We didn't. Under Muslim Spain, Christians were allowed to live, practice. Jews were allowed to live and practice. Because Islam teaches us if you kill one person unjustly, it's like killing all of mankind.
Really?
Now, I want to talk about this point right here, where this preacher, he said that they weren't real Christians doing that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't become not real Christians until like the 1980s. But before the 1980s, they were actually real Christians. I challenge anybody right now in that era to find a single Christian high roller, high level priest or cardinal or bishop or anything that said, no, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't do this race-based slavery thing. Maybe we shouldn't do this. Just find one. Find one Pentecostal preacher during the times of slavery that said, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't be doing this stuff right now. You know, maybe Jesus don't want this. Just find one. You won't and you can't, because all of Christendom signed off on it. Y'all hearing me? And something that the Christians like to say, oh, well, the Muslims had slavery too. The Muslims had slavery too. Look at here. That race-based slavery that happened in the Arab world, we actually have scholars that spoke out against it. So forget what you heard. And we're not talking about one or two scholars. We're talking about a long list of scholars that came out against it. You feel me? And on top of that, we don't find anybody from the ulama saying, oh yeah, this race-based slavery is from the Quran and the Sunnah. We don't find that. Why was there scholarship supporting this? Because of the biscuits and stuff, like anything else. You know what I'm saying? Human beings are human beings wherever you go. But I challenge you to find a single, just one Christian at that time that was against the Inquisition, against race-based slavery. Just find one. Please let us know who these people are that were resisting. Thank you. Please and thank you. Let's continue.
Yes.
Why is so much killing going on in the Muslim world?
You tell me. Would it be maybe Muslims that are not doing things that are in the Quran? Or is it geopolitics? Like, for example, in Iraq, why did we invade Iraq as the U.S.? Was it a religious thing? Right? You see what I'm saying?
The US?
Yes. Invade Iraq.
It's not a religious thing.
Did Iraq invade the U.S.?
No, Iraq.
Did what?
Didn't they invade their neighbors?
Between Kuwait and them, and then Iraq left that. That was, you're talking about the first Bush's time. After 9/11, when we invaded Kuwait, Iraq had not invaded anybody. Right? So why did we go? 3 million innocent Iraqis died. 3 million.
Sure, that's happened.
Right? Not by Muslims, right?
Yeah.
So now when you say Muslim world, it's a very racist, prejudiced statement because you're taking geopolitics and putting it on Muslims. When the opposite is true, when Christians do something, then you say they're just bad Christians.
Let me tell you something, okay? In modern times, in modern history, every problem in every Muslim country, in every African country, and all the Caribbean, every last geopolitical problem that they have is directly linked to white, European, and Western Christians. Are y'all hearing me? Directly linked, not in, like, I mean directly. Who carved up these countries to begin with? Who carved them up? We have the situation in Haiti going on right now. You know why Haiti is catching the hell that they're catching right now? It's because Napoleon, as ruthless as a leader as he was, the only people that defeated Napoleon and his army were the Haitian people, black people, with just machetes and a will to be free. And from that time, white Christian nations have been punishing Haiti as a message to the rest of the darker skinned people of the world to say that if you ever think about rising against us, this is what's going to happen to you. Y'all hearing me? There's not a single Muslim country or a single darker skinned country that these people don't interfere with. In modern times, not one. Not a single problem that we're having in a Muslim world today is not directly linked to either Europeans or Western colonial powers. Not one. Whether it is the Arab Spring, whether it is what's the Iraq War 1 and 2, whether it is what's going on in Afghanistan, what's going on in Somalia, what's going on, it doesn't make a difference. It does not make a difference. But if you are somebody who listens to your enemy's propaganda, and all you got to do when you want news is listen to the enemy speak, and the enemy is giving you your information, you're going to say, well, the Muslims are kind of violent. You know what I mean? That's what you're going to say. Because that's what they show you. You sitting out here watching the enemy's news, CNN, Fox, whatever it is, and MSNBC, it don't make a difference what it is. And you don't talk to the actual witnesses, the people behind the scenes. Right now in Mali, today, Mali is kicking out the French from their country. They're kicking them out. And all of a sudden, we got war happening in Mali. Why do you think that is? Why do you think Muammar Gaddafi was humiliated in the fashion that he was by Western powers? Why do you think that is? Even Saddam Hussein, as bad as Saddam was, a straight up dictator. Let's call it what it is. He was a devil, right? But why do you think that his former zaddies, the people who trained him, The people who gave you munitions to fight Iran, for those of you who are too young to remember the Iraq-Iran war, that was pretty much a Cold War between Russia and America. The same thing with Afghanistan. The first Afghan war was a Cold War between Russia and America, between communism and democracy. But what you see is the Muslims. And the Muslims that's all you see. You don't see the puppet masters in the background with their crosses and their churches and their cardinals and their popes signing off. And you know what? Let's do this. Let's do this for Christendom. You don't see that part. You don't see the the playmakers in the background in secret and through back doors selling Afghans weapons to kill each other, or Somalians weapons to kill each other. You don't see that part. You just see the end result. Y'all hearing me? But the Muslims, you must be tripping. And this is the thing. A lot of this stuff, I have to admit, yes, a lot of it is the fault of the Muslims. I got to admit. I have to admit that, at least. Why? Because the Muslims have refused to stay on code. Just refused to stay on code. They want to participate in these systems. And they don't think in their heads that, well, maybe, for example, maybe America can become an Islamic country, or maybe Canada can become. They don't think like that. They want to participate and just join in. You know what I mean? And just, be a part of this devil system, as long as they're able to get their education and their house and their car and whatnot. You know what I mean? Just don't, throw us in Guantanamo Bay and stuff. You get me? So as long as you're not, attacking us because we're peaceful, Islam is peace and everything else, peace and whatnot. But please don't attack us because, we're the nice guys. And then you show these people who have no history of justice or truth, or, you know what I mean? Anything that resembles fairness or godliness, you want to make alliances with that. And then turn around when they mess up your countries. You don't go after the enemy. You go after the Muslims. Oh, we're against terrorism and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's a total mess. It's a total mess. The real terrorists, you don't give them any work. Every terrorist organization that we have in modern times was backed by either the U.S. or some other Western global colonial power. All of them, whether it's ISIS, Al-Qaeda, or whatever, including the Taliban. Y'all hearing me? Who gave Taliban training? Who gave them training? Who trained Osama bin Laden? But y'all want to go fight terrorism without looking at the enemy dead in his eye and telling him, wait a second. You're the one who is training our terrorists and you telling me to fight them? No, I'm going to fight you. See, that's an us problem, okay? We need to do some real self-reflection. But anyways, let's get down to this, man. Sorry, I talk too much, but anyways.
Right? Well, but the religion of Islam is not responsible for that, right?
What happens, we're not doing, when wars happen, they're not done in the name of Christianity.
Really? So crusades were not in the name of Christianity? That was back then. Oh, that was wrong. The 7 crusades, those were just nothing.
No, I'm saying that
till today, when you have, for example, in South Sudan, Christian militias that are attacking each other, killing, massacring with the cross, that's different. They're wrong. So then any Muslim that unjustly kills anybody is also wrong. But why do you blame the religion for Muslims, but not the religion for Christians? Don't you think that's prejudice?
Because there are imams that perpetuate.
And there are not priests and pastors that don't?
Well,
the Pope didn't sanction the...
We don't claim them to be real Christians.
Then we do not claim those imams that shed innocent blood to be real Muslims. They are Khawarij. You know Khawarij?
You need to come out and make it very
We do. When is the last time
like I said, I know these types so well, okay? I've been dealing with them like for a good bulk of my youth. I know them very, 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 very well. Okay. There is no lie that they will not tell in order to make themselves look innocent. It's like if you guys see what's going on in Ottawa today, right, with this trucker convoy, whatnot. The victimizers now become the victims. They make themselves the victims. You understand? If you hear the rhetoric, and the funny thing is, when people are not interested in the truth, they have a strategy. You get me? When they have a goal in mind and the truth is not something that is conducive of carrying out their goal, they have this strategy. And it comes from the Nazis. And that is, if you repeat a lie enough, it becomes a truth. It becomes a truth. For example, if you tell the lie once, it's a lie. But if you tell the same lie 1,000 times, it becomes the truth. You get me? The enemy, they're the ones who own your media outlets. So they can say whatever they want about you because you don't own your own media outlets. The enemy does. So if they want to make you out to be a terrorist, they're going to make you out to be a terrorist. If they're going to make out black folk to be criminals, they're going to criminalize black folk. You get me? This is what they do. So here he is. He got one standard for Anglo-Saxon white preachers and pastors and whatnot, and a completely different standard for brown and black Muslims. You get me? You understand? The reason why he's talking to Shaykh Uthman like that is because he sees him as a foreigner. You get me? Like what he sees is something that his forefathers colonized. And they colonized Shaykh Uthman's forefathers for the good of their own forefathers. That's what he's seeing in his mind. And I'm going to talk about this point a little bit later. I'm going to get into depth a little bit about that from my experiences in school. You get me? But he knows. He already knows about the double standard. He understands this. But what he's holding back in his brain is that, well, our colonization of your people educated you and brought you civilization. And that's what he's holding back from his tongue. You get me? It was good for you. We Christianized you and stuff. You get me? That's what he's holding. Anyways, let's keep watching.
You saw me on Fox. Go home, tell O'Reilly to call me, and I'll make it very clear. Okay. When is the last time you condemned the KKK?
I would condemn them.
No, I'm saying, when is the last time you did?
Last time I haven't ever.
So why not? You see the double standard? But do you see the double standard? But see, the KKK is not in existence?
Well, not that I'm aware of.
Oh, come on. You don't think the KKK exists?
No.
That right there is enough to say that this old man here, this old white man right here, he not only is a liar, but he is professional. You can tell he's been doing this thing for years. He bull-faced. There's no way that this man reached this age in America and actually believes that the KKK don't exist anymore. I don't care what his political affiliation is. If he is this old in America as a white man, there is no possible way that he actually believes what he just said. Impossible. Impossible. Okay? For those of you who don't know the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan, they are the world's oldest terrorist organization that is still functioning up until this very day. And not only are they functioning, but they have taken up positions, very high positions in medicine, in the judicial system. They're judges, they're lawyers, they're on your media. Okay, we're talking about Ku Klux Klan. Okay, the Ku Klux Klan started as a reaction to Black Reconstruction after the Civil War. When Black people started voting in droves and started putting their own politicians in power, the KKK, that's when the KKK started as a violent uprising in order to bring about white power violently. And they violently suppressed black people from going to vote. You understand? There was a movie, I believe in 1915 it was, called Birth of a Nation. Birth of a Nation. This movie was based upon a book by, I think it's E. Griffith or something like that, called The Klansman. The Klansman. In this movie, all white actors, they put black people in black face, black body, everything like that. And these black people will run around, you know, they would be ignorant, stupid, and it's a silent movie by you, and sexually aggressive towards white women. They played this movie based on the book The Klansman in the White House. Woodrow Wilson played this movie in the White House. Woodrow Wilson. If you go on the internet today, you will find pictures of Queen Elizabeth doing the Nazi salute. These are the descendants of those people. Are you hearing me? How long ago was that? In the 1960s and 70s, a man named David Duke tried to mainstream the Ku Klux Klan. He wanted to mainstream them. What did he say? He said that we wanted to be the judges, the lawyers, the doctors. When Martin Luther King was so-called assassinated, shot, he did not die of the bullet. He died from the Klansman doctor smothering him to death. That was the 60s. The doctor spat on his face and took the pillow and smothered him to death. In the George Floyd protest, 8, count this up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 black people were strung up on trees in that same year. All of them ruled by suicide. Let me ask you this. Which person thinks that if I'm gonna commit suicide, let me grab a noose and tie this noose around my neck and go to this tree over here and jump on the tree and hang from the tree, just like they did during the Jim Crow era? And you mean to tell me, as old as you are, you see how these people lie? They lie. They are such big liars, man. Shayateen, well, lie, Shayateen. You reach this old age, and this is what you're doing? You must be tripping. Anyways, let's continue.
Well, I'm sure
they kill people every year.
I'm sure there are some.
The burning crosses, the hoods, Charlotte. Really?
Back in the 20s.
Wow. Let me just educate you today, okay?
If it happens, it very.
I got you. Look. This is now.
And he don't know this. As old as he is, he doesn't know this. Give me a break. That's a good point. With their hands tied behind their backs. These 8 people strung up on trees committed suicide with their hands tied behind their backs.
Okay. These are Klan meetings in our time. Right? This is going on right now. You see those hoods?
Yep.
You see those people in Charlotte when they had people from the Klan come out? This is today. For you to say this doesn't happen anymore shows a blissful ignorance on your part. But it's okay. I got you. These
he was being real nice.
That's not the 20s and 40s and 50s. That's today. And you haven't condemned them recently. But it's funny that you expect me to condemn Muslims. You why don't you do it? But you don't hold that responsibility for yourself.
For sure, I would condemn them.
Excellent. When is the last time you did?
Well, I'm not around them.
Exactly. I'm not around those that kill innocent people from Muslims. But it's funny the double standard that you held.
No,
But that's okay. Let's do this. I will condemn any Muslim that sheds innocent blood, and you condemn any Christian that sheds innocent blood.
I would agree to that.
We will agree to that. Now, back to the belief system.
MashaAllah, Shaykh is real. Like, he is hardcore when it comes to dawah, man. That's how you make dawah. What I'm doing right now is not dawah. I'm just ripping this dude apart. Okay? Don't do this on the streets. Do what the Shaykh is doing on the street. You got to be nice when you're making dawah. Okay? You just got to be nice. Okay? But look at here. This man is a Christian, right? And anyways, let me just let this play out for a little bit before I continue, because I want to get some of this.
Do you believe Jesus was God, or do you believe he was not God?
He is God. He's part of a God.
If he's God, then he should know everything. Is that correct?
I'm sure that he knows almost everything that goes on.
In the Bible, in front of you, I have shown you now, we're only, again, Mark 13:32. But of that day and hour, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. So Jesus, the Son, does not know.
What does he not know?
About the hour. When is the hour of his return?
For his return.
Yes.
So you don't believe he's going to return?
I do believe he's going to return. But Jesus didn't know when. And that would mean he is not God.
Oh, if he's going to return, then is he still alive?
Yes.
Can y'all smell that? I hope y'all can smell what I'm smelling, okay? Because I'm smelling a lot of fish up in here, okay? From this old man, okay? From this preacher, right? I smell a hell of a lot of fish, and it smelled like a whole lot of red herring. A whole lot of red herring, it smelled like. Okay? The Shaykh just finished asking him, is Jesus God or is he not God? Correct? This old man continued to say that Jesus is God. Does God know everything? And he says, yes, God knows everything. Okay? Okay. Well, if Jesus is God, then how come God, Jesus, didn't know this? Oh, you don't believe that Jesus is coming back? Red herring. Don't let these people, when you're making dawah, play that stuff. You get me? You always bring them back to the topic. You make them come back to the topic at hand. Who's talking about Jesus coming back? We're talking about God knowing everything and Jesus not knowing everything. You know what I'm saying? Why are you bringing this red herring, all right, to put me off the track of this topic over here? Come back over here, please. Come back over here. All right? All right? Let's let this play out a little bit.
He is. As a Muslim, I believe that. But again, you're kind of going away from the subject. The question.
Thank you. Thank you. You see how the Shaykh did that? That's what you do. You're going away from the subject. Let's go. Let's come back over here. You get me? But anyways, I want to close out here because I want to come back to this thing about what this man said. Oh, I don't know about no clans and the clan don't exist and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Let me tell you something, okay? Any black person that has been to a Catholic school who is over the age of 40, at least my age, whatever, will tell you about the curse of Canaan, okay? What they learned in Catholic school. They learned this in school. You hearing me? They learned this in school. I learned it in school. I didn't know what the curse of Canaan was from some other people groups. I learned this in Catholic school, okay? Curse of Canaan. What is this? What is the curse of Canaan, if you don't know? In the Bible, okay, there's a story, and I believe it's in the book of Genesis, with Noah, okay? And Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Y'all hearing me? And these 3 sons, they were, doing their thing, whatever. And Noah, the prophet of God, prophet of Allah, he got drunk. Okay, the story's in the Bible. It's not my words, it's the Bible's words, okay? Noah got drunk, okay? And in Noah's drunken state, he took off his clothes and was naked, and Ham, Noah's son Ham, looked at him and started laughing. And look at this guy, he's all naked and drunk. Look, you see, look, he's acting crazy. You know. But Noah still was conscious enough to recognize what's going on. His other two sons, Shem and Japheth, rather, right? They grabbed the cloth, they walked backwards so they wouldn't see their father naked, and they covered him. And then when Noah comes to his senses, Noah looks at Ham, the son that laughed at him, and he says, "Cursed be Canaan, a slave of slaves to his brothers he will be until the rest of his days." Who is Canaan? Canaan is the unborn son of Ham. Okay? According to the same people that he says are not Christians, the Canaanites are black people, and that's why they are perpetually supposed to be enslaved to white people, the sons of Shem and Japheth. You get me? We learned this in school, in Catholic school. We legit learned this, okay? I didn't learn this from other. This is what they taught us in my lifetime. You get me? They taught me this. And I'm sure any black person who's been to Catholic school can verify this, that they were taught this in their school. You hear me? This man, he's saying that the Ku Klux Klan ended in the 20s or whatnot. He is and this is what they do, man. They lie. They lie so much. So much, these people, they lie. The entire slave system was supported by the Catholics, the Catholic Church, the Pope, all the popes in all the churches, mind you, not just the Catholic Church, right? Also, Eastern Orthodox, also the Pentecostals. You get me? The Mormons started the Church of Latter-day Saints. The whole base of their church was based in racism itself. They say in the Book of Mormon itself, I believe I can't remember which book, but 225 or whatnot, that God turned the cursed son black and ugly. It says it in those words. We turned them black and ugly. He out here talking about, oh no, we innocent Christians, we don't do that. And the receipts are like up to the sky about these people. Up to the sky. You get me? The receipts are so incredible. And they're such savvy liars. You get me? Like, look at them. Oh, no. The Klan, they don't exist no more. We don't believe that anymore. Like, what is you devil? You are such a devil. You're such a devil. You know what I mean? We know them way, way, way too well. You can run that okie doke with other people who don't read, who don't know what's happening. But don't come around here running that game like that. Y'all hearing me? With red herrings, and this is their whole system, anyways. Their whole system is to do that. You get me? But what you got to understand is Dow is not necessarily calling that specific person to Islam, anyways, right? You may be calling him to Islam, but somebody else might be watching it, and they might be like, "Well, wait, no, this guy, they like someone like me. If I wasn't a Muslim, right, and I'd be watching this and like, no, this dude is lying. I know he's lying because I grew up like this in A, B, C, D. And why is he lying? And this man, he's clearly telling the truth, right? And if you look at Shaykh Uthman, how many people became Muslim because of his debates of people like this, with people like this, his conversation with people like this. People can see through the lies. They can see through it. And they can see the consistency of Shaykh Uthman. And even the humbleness. If Shaykh Uthman makes a mistake, he'll say it on camera. Oh, sorry, I didn't know that. He always does that all the time. Oh, sorry, I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, I stand correct. He does it all the time. These people have no humility with them. They're right about everything. There's not a single thing they're wrong about. And people see that. You reach that old age with zero humility, you got to be tripping. You've got to be tripping. Anyways, I put the link in the comments if anybody wants to join in for the next couple of minutes, and we'll let this play out.
How you doing?
No, if he's coming back, he's got to be alive.
I believe he's alive.
And he's part of God.
I do not believe he's a part of God.
So
I do believe he's going to come back by the will of God. The God that sent him the first time will bring him back. Right? But how can God not know?
Going to bring Muhammad back.
Man, you can see the forked tongue. You know, if you got your third eye on, you can see that forked tongue slobbering all over his chin and his horns poking through that cap of his.
No way you're never going to convince him. Never.
I'm not trying to convince him. My job is to convey a message. Guidance is from Allah.
See what happens? It's not just necessarily about him. You just got to do the job. That's it. Okay? All you have to do is do the job of making dawah. Call the people to Allah. Allah will do the rest. It's not up to you to guide the people. Allah's going to guide who he wants to guide. You understand? But Muslims in general, they have this inferiority complex. They just want to be, living in society, equal to white folks and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's their existence. And black people, I'm sorry, my people, black people, when they come Muslim, their situation is even worse. Because they stop at, I'm Salafi, I'm Ahlul Sunnah now, that's it. I completed my purpose of life. No outreach, no community building, no sense of getting like a education to benefit them. It's nothing like that. All it is who's on it, who's off it, who can I attack next? You know what I mean? All that imported stuff. All that imported stuff that comes directly from the enemy. These divide and conquer tactics. There comes a point in time where we have to be accountable for what we do and how we handle ourselves with each other. You get me? But the black Muslims have a history of being militant all the way up from the times of slavery. We have this history, and that those militant propensities have been removed from us. Why? Because of divide and conquer tactics. Divide and conquer tactics. So instead of going out in the street and calling your people to Islam and calling people to Allah, you stay on your computers and you say, this one, he's a deviant. This one, he's a hidden hizbi. This one, he's a closet ikhwan. That's your dawah now. That's your dawah now. That's exactly what it is. Well, it was nice to meet you. You know what I'm saying? This dude, man. I wish a biscuit would. No, I wish. No. I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't, man. I couldn't do it, bro. But yeah, anyways, when you're making dawah, that's how you make dawah. You call the people to Allah, and you let Allah handle the rest. You can legit get the reward of a prophet without being a prophet. You get me? But it all comes from trusting Allah, following the Quran and Sunnah, being humble, and making repentance, and going out and doing the actual work. You feel me? But anyways, thanks brothers and sisters for joining me. I appreciate it. We had some fun today. Alhamdulillah. I'd like to thank Shaykh Uthman Farouk again for putting out another banger, right? Alhamdulillah. Brothers and sisters, please get involved in street dawah. Leave the YouTube dawah stuff alone. Get out in the streets and call the people to Allah. Find your local dawah organization, whatever it is, and use their resources. Try to train yourself. Watch some of these videos, even some of the older videos like Khalid Yassin or Bilal Phillips, or these old videos, even Ahmed Didat, whatnot, and try to train yourself in making dawah. Yes, you're going to make mistakes. You get me? You will make mistakes, of course, right? But don't be so hard-headed that you don't learn from your mistakes. When you make mistakes, you learn from you, keep moving. But you don't have to, be memorizing Bukhari, Muslim, and all this kind of. Look at Shaykh Uthman. The people that become Muslim, he's training them in Islam, and then he's training them to make dawah on the street, to call more people to Islam. That's what it's about. You get me? Because the one who knows about Islam, no matter how little he knows more than the kafir who doesn't know about Islam. You get me? Call them to Allah. Subhanaka wa bihamdik wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Thank you all for joining me. May Allah reward you. May Allah bless you. And may Allah bless you and your families. Ameen.